Would you consider yourself as one of those people that's always busy? Do you ever find yourself responding to somebody when somebody asks you, how you doing? You're like, good, just busy. I get it. The schedule's full, your energy's low, your health sometimes just keeps getting pushed to the bottom of the pile. I'm not saying all busy people have that, but I find that many times just saying the words busy automatically gives people this reason to put their priorities or to put things with their health, their fitness, other needs kind of down the list because they're busy doing things. So I don't know if that's you or not, because I considered myself busy a lot. Movement and exercise was getting skipped. Sleep kind of got cut out. The mind's saying, you know what, I'm too busy right now. I can't do that. Even when somebody says you want to do something, my busy brain was automatically going through, what do I have to do? Can I squeeze this in? I get it. Life is full. Pressure's real. And the lie really is believing that busy means that your care has to disappear or get put down the list. Once that idea gets repeated enough, and this is what I want to drive home in today's podcast, your body, it gets the leftovers, and the same thing happens with your peace and your goals. They end up getting in the leftover pile, and after a while, that starts to feel normal, and that's where the damage begins. Not necessarily like all at once, but it's just this quiet behind the scenes sort of thing. So we're going to talk about that today, and if you are tired of getting packed, this packed schedule of yours and letting that beat your health, head over to talktoperry.com and let's just look at where your day keeps getting handed away and build just a setup so that it works with your real life, your schedule, not to take anything away from your busyness, but just so you can start accomplishing the goals, the health goals that you want to achieve. Well, busyness happens. A lot of times people find that when they are putting their health in a priority, that busyness gets handled a lot better. That's over at talktoperry.com. So let's look at the pattern here. One reason this pattern is hard to challenge, because it looks responsible. You're helping people, you're showing up, handling what needs to get done, and that can make self-neglect sound mature. We don't call it self-neglect, but we just let it become a habit. This is just who we are. And what happens is the body starts to feel that habit. Food gets random, sleep kind of gets delayed, exercise becomes something that you plan to do later. You still have the good intention that you're going to do it, right? And maybe you dabble, get to the gym every so often, but the stress still stays high, recovery is weaker, and that really can show up for you in low energy, more cravings, worse, having lack of focus, less patience, and a body that just feels like it's trying to always catch up and giving yourself a false promise that you're going to make up for it on the weekend or do it over summer or maybe after the holidays. But this becomes a loop year after year after year. And that pattern, it stops feeling temporary and just starts feeling like your identity. I'm good. I'm just busy. I'm wearing the busy badge, right? That's where it gets costly. This is where I started realizing that I needed to, I called it what it was. I needed to put myself first. I know it sounded stingy. I know it sounded like, man, I'm being selfish. But I couldn't rely on things because a lot of times people try to fix it by more motivation. I just got to show up and I just got to do it. But motivation, it's not the issue. It's order. What comes first? And what comes first is that's what gets protected. And then you start looking at what keeps getting pushed. If your health always depends on the leftover time or when you're going to squeeze it in, then your schedule's already telling the truth about your priorities. And I know that stings a bit, right? But knowing that can also help. And I started realizing this and I talk about this a lot on my podcast, the drive home. I had the hour commute. I was a full-time teacher. And on my way home, I would start just getting done with work. I'm going to get my workout done on my way home. But on my way home, I could have a big conversation with myself about putting it off. I got a big to-do list. I'm really busy. I've got these things. I'm running a German Shepherd rescue. I'm a full-time teacher. I've got a home business. And I've got things that I need to do to take care of the house and the pets and all this stuff. So I started asking a different question. And I encourage you to ask a better question. What keeps taking so much from me that my health really never gets to be a priority? And that question really brought clarity to me because once I started seeing the pattern, for me, it was negotiating to get myself out of working out. I realized I was telling myself I needed to get more motivated. But what I discovered was I just needed to start my workout. I needed to just get in motion. I needed to take action. Did I have evidence already that I was going to get in shape and I knew this was going to work out for me to get in the gym every day? No. But I had to believe that it was better than what I was doing, which was getting home, sitting down for like a 10, 15 minutes to get motivated, and then I'd get comfortable in my chair, and then the rest of the evening would go, and I'd never get to the gym. But I'd think about getting to the gym. Somehow that doesn't work. It doesn't burn off the calories. So you need to look at it and say, you know what? A workout block needs to happen earlier or maybe at a regular time. So that was it for me. I realized starting workouts was the most challenge for me because I was talking myself out of it. So I made it easier to start my workouts. I got rid of the motivation time and I committed to starting right after I got home from work, after I took care of the pets. And then I also gave a little extra, a little contract with myself that said, and if you're not into it and you're unmotivated, you must show up and start and commit to at least 15 minutes of that workout. If at the end of 15 minutes you're done, call it a day, but you get to put a check on the calendar that says you showed up. And that's all it was. It was getting in the habit of showing up and taking action. And almost every time I got to the 15-minute mark, and then I finished the other 15 minutes of the workout. I didn't ever, it's like maybe 5 times that I stopped at 15. That's not selfishness, putting yourself first. It really is leadership. The huge shift happens when you start treating it like part of your responsibility. I wasn't taking responsibility for my health. I was pointing at all the reasons why I couldn't get into shape. I can't do this because I got a long commute. I can't do this because I'm a full-time teacher. I can't do this because I'm unmotivated and I'm tired and I'm bored with exercise. I can't do this. I was looking at all the external reasons. I had to take responsibility and say, you know what? Nobody's going to show up and do this workout for me. If I'm going to get in shape, if I'm going to lose weight and take care of the stress and all that, it's got to be on me. And I was not going to rely on chance happening where I was like, oh, I'll just magically get 6-pack abs while I'm sitting at the desk and sitting and doing crunches. I didn't. I maybe entertained that idea once, but it wasn't going to happen. You know what? It really, just to get back to it, the mindset sets a tone. You know, care becomes maintenance for the person your life depends on. You've got this, my friend. I hope to hear what your best takeaway is today. Please drop that down in the comment. I will reply. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff, and we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.